Oh, oh, yeah, I'm back. Let's continue uh, from chapter 8 of Redemption Road uh, by Elma. So in chapter 8, we see three people again, Bendu, Sieta, Calvin, uh, argue about who was right or wrong during the Liberian Civil War. And it was plain simple. They had experienced William for 10 years, from 71 to 1980. They just wanted him out. So William Doe didn't want to go out. So they just didn't want to step down. So they just wanted him out. They were just tired. 10 years of leadership. We are still poor. We are still in a deplorable state. The system is just so horrible. Nothing is coming off. Nothing seems better. So they just basically wanted William Doe out. But he wouldn't vouch. And so Calvin's people started blaming other functions. Tribes blamed tribes. Intellectuals were blaming the people who were voting, etc. And even intellectuals had to blame it on ethnic wars. But then, Calvin says that no. In the beginning, I'm reading from the book, there was a purpose. Get the president out. 10 years of Doe were enough and the repression was only getting worse. Once he was out though, everyone just went crazy. They've destroyed this country. Destroyed it. So there was a coup to take Doe out. And when he was taken out, everyone just went crazy. Because there are people who wanted him, who still wanted him to be in power. Most people were also against him. So everyone just went crazy during the first part of early parts of 1980s, in the 1980s, yes, because he ruled from 1971 to 1980, when the whole brouhaha started, the First Civil War started. Then it went down straight to 1990, where Tolbert took power and was also booted out. So, in chapter 8, it's basically Calvin, Siatak, and Bendu trying to talk about the war, what happened, what really happened, who to blame during 1980 Civil War. All the three of them had different perspectives. They all had different perspectives about the war. I'm trying to get each and everyone's perspective about what really they said. So, as the three friends, including Agnes, were trying to talk about the war, Kelvin stereotypes about has this he's number one in this novel when it comes to stereotyping. Anyone who was involved in the war, Kelvin just didn't see them as victims. To him, they deserved whatever came their way, because to him they were also as wicked as the leaders of the gangs. So Kelvin says that, I'm sorry, he said, but their war stories don't move me one bit. Displacement, starvation, whatever, I don't care. I don't feel sorry for any of those people. But then Bendu comes in and says, but they are victims. You can't blame them for whatever they did. Even though they also killed. Young, innocent people were made fighters. Children were made fighters and killed. And Kelvin is saying they had no excuse. They had so many choices. They could have said no, but they would be killed. So they are victims. All what they were doing was killing to survive. But then Bendu says that no. Those people, I just don't have mercy for them. But they are victims, Seattle interrupted. Especially the women and children. They are not the ones who committed the crimes. Kelvin asked, and how do you know? How do you know what the women and children did to make it through the war? If women and children were part of the war, they were also killed. Do you know, you Seattle, do you know what they also did so that they could be saved from the war? Do you? So Kelvin is saying they are also as guilty as their leaders. So they should also be put in the same class as those who started the war in the first place. Now look at Agnes. She was called Mama. Mama, don't care. Everyone had to do what they had to do to survive. Now Kelvin says, even the children joined functions and took up arms, especially children who were orphaned by the war and had nowhere else to turn. It was all about survival. I'm going to swim. Anyone care for what? Anyone care to join me? He just doesn't care. Kelvin has this notion about war victims that he's not willing to forgive them. But he feels that even if the system changed, even if a war started, we all had a choice to say, no, I'm not going to get involved. So if I'm not going to get involved, she's not going to get involved, he's not going to get involved. Obviously, those who, the one or two people who stood up to cook up the war, to cook up the coup d'etat, obviously, where would they be? They wouldn't have supporters, so they would still have to resign or run away and hide somewhere. But so far as they have supporters, they have people that support them to do this and kill their own, orphan as many children as possible, reduce villages to ashes. Obviously, they had a choice, and Kelvin was not ready to have mercy on any of them. Who would blame him? Nobody. So chapter 8 obviously ended up with Bendu, Seattle, Kelvin, Agnes going for a vacation, at Kelvin's place to talk about the war. Obviously, the war topic came up, and then everyone tried to shift blame on the other, and they all had their perspectives. After all, we are all entitled to our perspectives about life. So after that vacation, Bendu goes home and she recounts again her journey, her war journey, how she became a victim, what really happened to Bendu during the war. Her parents, Seattle, they were away. When they were preparing to leave, when they were preparing to leave the country, Bendu was stuck somewhere. Her parents left with Seattle. When there was change of government, they couldn't take it. When Bendu was overthrown, so parents left. She stayed with Grandma May. Things happened. What really happened to Bendu during that time? What made her open peace in practice? What made her open counseling sessions for post-war victims? Is Bendu married? No, so far. She had a fiancé who died during the war. So she's just not ready to fall in love with anyone, even though Agnes is trying to make her with Kelvin. Still, we'll continue from chapter 9, and then we'll see what happens, and then we'll continue to 10 also. So Lena's Literature Library, reading between the lines. We're